Hi Revanti, how are you?
Yeah, fine. I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you for asking. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Revanti Kumari. I'm working now in a telecom technologies as a test engineer. Then about to me means my roles and responsibilities in that such a company means understanding the requirements and write to test cases and test scripts if it requires for automation and text execution and then rising the bugs, tracking a bug, and reporting. Rising a bug and reporting a bugs and tracking a bug and closing up the bugs. And up to me is this much. For one project, I did automation. They were used Selenium is Java, TestNG as a framework, build management tool as a Maven, then version control tool is a GitHub as discussion. Well, one more actually, one more project is going on now. For this, I'm doing manual testing. Actually, I have a 2+ years of experience and manual testing as well as automation.
Okay,
This is
great.
about me.
Right. So can you tell us something about the automation framework?
Automation framework,
Mm-hmm.
which TestNG and Cucumber or else
Yeah, so which is the framework that you are following?
TestNG.
Testing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in that you have a data-driven framework or is it keyword-driven framework?
Data-driven framework we have used actually.
Okay. Can you explain in detail about the data-driven framework? Which are the various utilities? Which are the various classes, files, folder structure for your framework?
Oh yeah, for that project we used Maven build first build. In that we used some how like some from test cases. We used classes, some utility files, some folders. We used in folders we are used to keep the drivers, whatever and all we used the drivers, and in the utility files and all we have used that reporters, Excel extend reports, log, and I test listeners, whatever we log files. Some we are used no, those we have used in a utility file. Then the ones were used in property file also. Whatever is going to be a so throughout project we are going to use no, those we are saved in properties file and we used from there. We using the priority testng.xml we used to run those test cases. Else it can explain to more or it's enough. Should I explain about this TestNG framework?
No. See, whenever this question comes to you in an interview, you have to explain each and everything. I think you covered about the property file, you covered about the utilities, the folder file structure. Now, how do you trigger the automation? That also you need to cover. Which is the programming language that you have used for writing automation scripts? Java. So those all things you have to cover. So try to cover each and everything. Like you have used Java, then what is your contribution to this framework? You might would have created some utility, some class, for example, for converting the system date time into the ordered manner, or for which is the reporting mechanism that you are using, right? So these all things you have to cover. Okay. Yeah. Now tell me, which is the reporting mechanism that you are using? Are you using the extend report or normal TestNG reports?
No, from starting we up to my I did only testng.xml file of the testng reports only I did. Later they implemented external reports actually. So I mean I haven't used that, but they implemented in that build.
Okay. How will you handle dynamic web elements? Let's say if you are trying to automate some page and you are getting dynamic web elements on that page. So how will you handle those elements?
So should I identify the element first, right?
Yeah. So what would be your strategy? What would be your steps?
No, by using XPath, first I will go first. Is there any unique element first, like ID, locator, or class, or text? I will search for this. If I go with this, no, if it's not going to be changed, I will fix this using this identity locators. I used to write a path. Otherwise, I will write X path. With the text or else contains or else partially linked text. By using these locators, I will try to locate that, identify that locator. I mean, identify that such element.
Okay. Which are the types of XPath?
Relative XPath is there, absolute XPath is there. Two types are there.
Right.
If it is relative XPath, particularly we can ping that element. If it is an absolute XPath, no, we from root nodes we have to identify and we can identify the elements. If it is absolute XPath, it will start from single slash. If it is relative XPath, it will start from double slash.
Right. Right. Okay. Now you need to write a program to remove the duplicates from the array. Okay. I'm sending you the array in the chat box.
Okay.
Yeah. So can you please share your screen and write a program? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can write the program in IntelliJ, Eclipse, or even in Notepad as well. That is fine.
Okay.
Are you able to see the message in the chat box?
Yeah, I got message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrap, remove the duplicate numbers given in char array.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Can I write myself in Notepad?
Yeah, yeah. Whichever screen you are, whichever tool you are comfortable with, and write in that.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, just copy paste the question first. So
Yes, I did,
on the
sir.
screen.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, for loop we will use, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you the answer. You need to try first. If you're not able to, answer, then I'll provide you the solution as well.
Okay.
Yeah, first you can try from your end.
Okay. Actually, what I mean is, while from for loop, it's going to be a read, no? From after for loop, now we will use one more for loop to read again, and then we will use if statement, I think so, to match whether it's going to be, if it is matched those things, no, mention has it has to be a duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
It will print in a system dot out and println, and we can sprint actually. But
Right.
I don't know why I am getting confusion to write.
No, no, absolutely. You are going in a correct direction. You will be using two for loops and it would be
Yes,
nested for loop. So within one
yes.
for loop, you will be having another for loop and then you will be having a if condition.
If condition, but I don't know, I'm getting confusion to write actually.
No worries. I'll share my screen and
Okay.
yeah, let me stop sharing your screen.
Okay.
Now I'll show you how you can do this.
Actually, I can able to think if it write like this, no, it's going to become, but I'm getting confusion to write.
No worries. Okay. You are able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can say.
Okay. Now you were thinking in the right direction. First of all, we will use any of this, so this is one class you will declare, right? And this is the index you will declare the one of the variable integer variable as 0. Now you will be using for loop for traversing through all the characters, right?
Yes, yes,
Right. Yeah. Then we have to check whether one particular string is present before it or not. So we will have another for loop, right? So as
yes,
we were discussing, we will be having two for loops, right? Then
yes,
we will be checking the condition. If that is not present, then we will be adding it to the result, right? So
yes, yes,
this is how every time it would be iterating it. Okay. So basically you can use this method as well, two for loops and one if condition, or you can also go for this approach, right? You can sort the elements first and then you can run a loop. In the loop, you can
yes.
remove all the duplicates by comparing the
Duplicates.
current character with the previous character. And then you can remove the extra characters at the end of the resultant string, right? So these are the two
Yes,
methods that you can basically use over here to get the desired result.
yes, I got now.
Okay, great. Now let me show you one more thing. Okay, now this is one of the table, order ID table. Okay, and as you can see, we have got 5 columns over here. One is order ID, customer ID, employee ID, order date, and shipper ID. Okay,
Okay.
now there are multiple order IDs available, right? You can see
Yes,
10251 is a,
but
right.
yes.
Similarly, customer ID are multiple, employee ID, you can see this is same. So this is a duplicate
Say,
record, right?
okay.
Right, in this SQL
Other,
table. Yeah, this is
okay.
a duplicate record. Now can you write an
Okay.
SQL query for getting,
SQL,
yeah, yeah.
sorry to,
Mhm.
actually, I didn't involve in that SQL also. I just up to my knowledge also I didn't learn. Postman only up to my knowledge I learned. I didn't involved in the project actually.
Okay, no worries. So basically the question was you have to write an SQL query to retrieve
Yes.
these duplicate records. Okay, now I'll show you the solution of this. Okay, so this will be the SQL query. You will be writing select order ID, count, and in that order ID from orders, and you will be using group by order ID. Group by is an important key thing over here. So as you can see, 10251 was repeating twice,
Yes,
10276.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Order IDs,
Twice.
yeah, were repeating duplicates. So using group by, we can, get the duplicates from the data. So, so in a real time interview, you might get questions on SQL as well. So please be prepared on that. And because see, there are two basically reasons for asking questions on SQL. One is it would be useful to have a knowledge of SQL if you have to perform database testing, right? If you have to perform testing with respect to queries, with respect to SQL tables, right? Then it is useful. Secondly, it is useful when you have to, let's say you are in initial phase of the project. The APIs are getting developed, the database queries are getting developed, but still the front end, the UI is not ready. So what you will do, you will be doing API testing. And along with that, you will be seeing whether all the records are going into the database or not. So you'll be writing SQL queries to check or to validate whether the records that you have entered via API are going into the database or not. Right. So kind of testing that you can perform.
Yes, yes.
So that is why SQL is very important. So you can learn that SQL. Okay. Now, what is the difference between web service and API?
Yes, web service means it's user interface only, right? Web services. API means whatever and all they are developed code, it will be there inside the API things. We by using the Postman tool, we use API testing. We can use actually Postman tool. Uh, uh, One more rest assured also is will be there, but I just up to my knowledge only I learned Postman tool. I didn't involved in the project. Actually, what and all I involved means manual testing. I used it for the GI web service, web automation for only I did actually. I didn't involve the such as SQL, Postman, API testing, those and all things. But maybe if I change, no, I'm looking for a change for a job. Maybe I have to learn more such things.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. Now, you were mentioning that you are using data-driven framework in automation, right? So you might be reading the data, some values from the Excel file, right?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so can you explain me the automation flow? How are you reading that data from Excel file?
Yeah, Excel files. First we will as first data driven test we used to write for sending the multiple set of data to run the test cases. In that we can approach in the two ways. In class itself, in one class itself, we can use data data provider data provider. There, using the object to arrays, we can use the multiple data. By creating the at the test, we can write whatever code and all is there. From the adding this dependency data provider to that such a test case, we can run the data driven test. This is first way, and that way is the if we have no more than 5 or 6 data multiple sets of data we have no, so we can go from through Excel. So in Excel, we used to save our data, whatever and all we have. Like if we are going to test the username and password, right? For username and password, we will use some 5 to 7 sets of data. In that whatever it is, I mean positive and negative values we can use. Then in this, we can use that one utility file. In utility file, we can go that Excel sheet, means XLX formats will be there from that workbook. From workbook, we can start out the sheets. From sheets, no, we started out from cells data. Then first we will get the column count, row count. Then we will go for the cell data. Like this, no, we will get those things from data. Whatever and all we will give information, they will give in array object. In array object, we are going to be save the data. Then whatever we are going to be run means if it is a Facebook login page means we have to inspect and we have to identify the locators and everything. We have to write the code, and by extending this or else through calling by creating the object to the utility file, we can create the object whatever we have in that class. Through object, we can call that data provider class. So it will run automatically. It will take set how many set of data we have given, no? That much of data. It will take it. It will take and it will run. After we running, no, it will run. Then it will come into a test data. It will test output. It will be there. Then we can see the results. So by analyzing the results, how many test cases, how many data, how much set of data we have given, no? From such data, which one is passed, which one is fail, like that we can analyze.
Sounds great. Now, what is the difference between list and set?
List and set is the collections in Java. List can allow the duplicates. In insertion orders, it will be there. We can do insert, delete, and everything will be doing list. Set is there. Set it will allow the only unique values. It won't allow the duplicate values. There will be no insertion. It won't follow the insertion order actually.
Okay. What is boxing and auto boxing in Java?
Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know.
Fine. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. What is boxing and auto boxing in Java? Okay. So let's move to the next question then. Okay. What is the difference between method overriding and method overloading?
Method overloading means we are using same method and changing the parameters. In type of parameters it will be there, order of the parameters it will be there, data type of the parameters it's going to be a change. By doing this override, it's a means what we need is by using the method overriding, we can reduce the we can reuse this code, we can save our time. Yeah, if it comes to method overriding means whatever it is there with the functionality in parent class, we are going to be the override that functionality. In this, how it's going to be, I mean, it will be a same method. Whatever it will be the statements with the method body, it will be there. Na? There we are going to the existing that functionality of that. Means through inheritance only we can achieve the overriding. Overriding.
Yeah, can you give one example to explain the difference between method overriding and overloading?
Yes. If it is method is there, no, add method or else add method add is there, no, variables we can take a variable equals to 10, b variable equals to 20. By using this integer a, integer b, we have taken the variables. The method is add method. In this we are using the integer a, integer b. In system out println we will use a plus b. By this time we can get 30. We are going to be use another method that is also same add method only. In this we can use the integer a equals to 10, double b equals to 10.5. So in this, while printing those things, 10 we are going to use the integer and double value. It's an order of data type different. We are using this as a parameters. So there we will get output as a 20.5. Like this, we can achieve the method overloading. Then, if it comes to overriding, if it is one class, it is a parent class. Parent class is their display method. In display method, we can write this, and in subclass, if we go to the subclass, there also it is there that method display method. There we can change our data, the body of that method. We can change if parent class, if we have the running, if we can change in that display method. If a dog is barking like that, we can change.
Okay. Okay, Revanti, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, I thought about you may ask about in Selenium also, and Cucumber framework it will be there, no? There also maybe may cover questions to me like that. I met.
Okay, so you have experience in BDD framework?
Yes, but I learned because nowadays everyone is moving from this framework to the BDD Cucumber framework because it's going to be understandable languages there, no, for everyone. So nowadays everyone is using BDD Cucumber instead of TDD, this TestNG.
No, no,
So
definitely. So what we would do
I
is
got,
we would.
I learned up to my knowledge, but I didn't implement.
Okay, okay, no worries. So we will schedule one more round of
Right?
interview for you in which we will cover
Okay.
those questions as well. Okay.
Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So today's interview was based on what we saw in your CV, right? And
Okay.
based on that, we were not aware that you are having this knowledge on BDD Cucumber as well. But if you are having this knowledge, so add them into your skill set. So definitely we will ask.
Okay, fine, sir. And should I improve any other things if I actually I'm looking for a job change?
Yeah.
So
So,
should I improve? I know I'm lacking in coding part.
hmm,
Up to my knowledge, I came to know not only before going to attend the interview, I only because maybe I get tension, but I don't know. Before itself, I'm lacking in coding.
sure, sure. No worries. So coding and SQL, these two things you need to be revisiting these two things.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.